Welcome to episode 2 of the Marsha and Portia Project.
I think it's safe to say we can all agree that 2020 has pretty much sucked. Meme games off the charts these days.
Yes.
Pretty much anytime we open social media, we're bombarded with all the negativity and just general chaos. So today we wanted to take a minute to just refocus on some of the positive elements of our culture and our history. I think that looking back in history can really ease our fears and kind of create some peace when you look at historical patterns and the way things have worked. Mm-hmm. And Veronica was just saying earlier, it's just so important to be able to tell these stories because they provide a framework for us understanding what's happening now. So considering that 2020 has left us all feeling a little defeated, we want to take a moment to reflect on some of the American greats, American firsts, contributions that we can all be really proud of, that we can hang our hat on.
And that we can actually be united in.
And things that we maybe have even forgotten about through history. We've just been bombarded with so much negativity. So we want to take a minute to just talk about how our contributions have impacted not just us, but the globe, and why we can be proud of it.
Yeah, and I think, there is so much negativity right now, and there's even negativity on our American history. It seems kind of like there is a lot of talk about how we have this flawed history as Americans, which of course is true. You know, our country, while it's the greatest nation on the history of this earth, has been through a lot. There has been a lot of gray areas. And, if you think about it, no person, no culture, no history has been without serious flaws.
I can't think of one relationship that I have that is not without flaws or irritations.
Yeah. But, the story of the United States, while it's a flawed one, is an incredible story of perseverance.
Absolutely.
Of greats. And so while we have an incredibly flawed past, while we had to deal with our original sin of slavery, while we've had to deal with horrible treatment of Black Americans, of Native Americans, of women and other minority groups.
Totally.
We are a country that has put into place and that we are blessed with founding documents that secure life and liberty and freedom for all. And while it has taken time for those freedoms to be granted to all Americans as they should have originally been, we're getting there. And it's so incredible to look at the what our country has done and what has been accomplished with our founding documents as a basis.
Yeah, the cool thing is those documents were created with the understanding and with the wiggle room to evolve and grow with society and understanding and advancements in technology and travel and so many things. So that's why we continue to see so much growth in this country. If you do a comparison of other nations, no other nation has worked so hard and so long and so consistently to fight for equality that we now benefit from as women professionals. So we're proud of that and we're thankful for that. And so this episode is to kind of focus more on that. I think everybody's forgotten this advice that we've all heard from our grandmother, this sage advice, like don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, and
don't take our negative history and say, well, America's such a shitty country, because look at what we've done, look at what we've accomplished.
And where focus goes, energy flows. So if we start focusing on the resilience, the innovation, the ingenuity that has popped its head through all the flawed parts of our history, we can, be proud of that. We can focus on that, and then we can build on it. We can be the generation who does more and does better and unites. And so we kind of talk about this a lot as, really what the American spirit is. The American spirit is what connects us all. It transcends religion, sex, left, right, Christian, atheist, the North, the South, the Midwest. Having the American spirit is something that is endowed in each of us as a human. We believe it's one of our core values, and it's really the driving force behind what has caused so many great advancements in our country. So Veronica's going to read to you some segments of a speech that was given on July 4th, and we can't really expound on it. It was done so perfectly that I don't think many people heard. And so we want to take this chance to read to you and remind you about some of the greatness of America.
What the American spirit is.
Yeah, what the spirit is of America.
So we are the nation that gave rise to the Wright brothers, the Tuskegee Airmen, Harriet Tubman, Clara Barton, Jesse Owens, General George Patton, the great Louis Armstrong, Alan Shepard, Elvis Presley, and Muhammad Ali. And only America could have produced them all. No other place. Americans harnessed electricity, split the atom, and gave the world the telephone and the internet. We settled the Wild West, won 2 world wars, landed American astronauts on the moon, and one day very soon we will plant our flag on Mars. We gave the world the poetry of Walt Whitman, the stories of Mark Twain, the songs of Irving Berlin, the voice of Ella Fitzgerald, and the style of Frank Sinatra. The comedy of Bob Hope, the power of the Saturn V rocket, and the toughness of the Ford F-150, and the awesome might of the American aircraft carriers. Americans must never lose sight of this miraculous story.
And that is, we've even done a little more research beyond that. You know, we talked about America created and introduced the first cell phone to the world in 1973. It was Motorola. Ford,
Amelia Earhart.
and the Model T. Ford in 1908 created the Model T, which was the first mass-produced, affordable, practical car that's put Americans behind, the steering wheel. So it's really cool to look back and when you put the big picture in mind of all these advancements we've made in really only a couple hundred years compared to human history, that's incredible.
And it's been done in America. America has done so much, not just for our own citizens, but for the globe. And no other, without fail, no other country has done that.
Right.
And I think, it's something to be proud of. The American pioneering spirit, the American, drive and entrepreneurial mindset.
Yes.
The drive to want more, to do more, and to be more that pushes our citizens and our country forward. It's such a blessing that's gone back in history. And we should celebrate those individuals and we should celebrate that history. And
while striving for better and more equality and a better lifestyle for all. And that has been underlying most of the American creations, innovations, inventions. And so taking a moment to reflect on all those positives while always acknowledging the flaws are what we do with each other. It's what we do in our relationships. It's what we do in our communities. So certainly on a greater scale, we could have that resilience and that spirit within us to do that for our country itself and who she is, who we have created her to be. I think that's what's so beautiful about America is that we can create more positivity, more change. And so that's the aim of part of the aim of the Marsha and Portia Project. We're going to talk a lot more about facts and history, the flawed parts and the good parts.
But those are the good stories to tell. We've got to tell the positive stories and the bad stories.
With the bad.
But you have, we really believe that we have so much to learn from the stories of our past. And a lot of those stories are getting thrown out and not told because they might make some of us uncomfortable or they just might not be stories that we've heard before. And so that's kind of what we want to do.
Absolutely. So, and we always want to encourage you at the end of every one of our episodes to do your own research. We are not experts in these fields. We are passionate, patriotic women who care about empowering other women and encouraging you and facilitating your own education. So we encourage you to check your own sources, to do more research, ask us questions if you have any questions or you don't have time to do the research, we'll do it for you. We're happy to address any issues in the weeks and months ahead. But we are super excited to create this community where you can come to hopefully get some encouragement and also just gain a little more knowledge about what makes us so special. So thanks for listening.
Stay tuned.